Daf Yomi, Tractate Zevachim, page 53b, top of the page. Tana Devi Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Omrim, Zevazeh, Yisod Maravi, Yisimanech, Mashchu, Gabriel Rabra. The school of Rabbi Shmuel, in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, says, both this and that, meaning the blood of an inner sin offering and that of an external sin offering, were poured on the western base of the altar. According to this version, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai agrees with the opinion of Rabbi Shmuel. The Gemara comments, and your mnemonic to remember this change in opinion is the men pulled the man. In this case, the numerous students of Rabbi Shmuel claim that Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai agrees with their teacher. The men pulled the man, meaning the students were the men, and they pulled the man, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, to agree with them. Okay. Mishnah. Ha'oleh Chadash Kadashim Shkidasa B'Safon Lekibul Dama B'Chlei Sharis B'Tzafon V'Damantan Shtei Matchanos Shein Arba Utunaev Shevinituach B'Chalil Le'ishim. The burnt offering is an offering of the most sacred order. Its slaughter is in the north of the temple courtyard, and the collection of its blood in a service vessel is in the north. And its blood requires two placements that are four, and it requires flaying of its carcass and the cutting of the sacrificial animal into pieces, and it is consumed in its entirety with the exception of its hide by the fire of the altar. Okay, that's the Mishnah. Now, Gemara, the Talmud says, Ola, my time, Tanele Kachikadashim, Mishum Nelo Ksiva, Hashem, Kadesh Kadashim. Hashem was in parentheses for some reason. Anyway, okay, Gemara. What is the reason that the Tana taught that a burnt offering is an offering of the most sacred order when the Mishnah earlier, 52b, did not mention that a sin offering is of the most sacred order? The Gemara answers, it is because in the Torah it is not written explicitly with regard to the burnt offering. It is most sacred, as it states concerning the sin offering and the guilt offering in a verse concerning a meal offering. It should not be baked with leaven. I have given it as their portion on my offerings. A portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most sacred as a sin offering and the guilt offering. Leviticus 6:10. Consequently, the Talmud explicitly states that a burnt offering is likewise of the most sacred order. This the Mishnah teaches, and its blood requires two placements that are four. How does the priest perform the placements? Rav says he places the blood on one side of the corner of the altar and places it again on the other side of the corner of the altar. He repeats this on the diagonally opposite corner so that he places on two corners but on all four sides of the altar. And Shmuel says he places one placement on each of the two diagonally opposite corners so that each placement is similar to the shape of the Greek letter gamma, which is bent at a right angle. Katanai Yachol Yizrika. Katanai Yachol Yizrikenu. Zrika Achaz Tamudomar Sariv. Isa Yachol Yakifenu Hachut. Tamudomar Vizarku. Haketzat Kimin Gamma. Dvedama Ta'un. The Gemara comments, the dispute between Rav and Shmuel is like a dispute between Tanaim. One might have thought that a priest should sprinkle one sprinkling with the blood of a burnt offering to counter this possibility. The verse states, and sprinkle the blood around against the altar that is at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Leviticus 1:5. If the blood must be sprinkled around the altar, one might have thought that he should circumscribe the altar, as one would do with a thread, and sprinkle the blood all around To counter this possibility, the verse states, shall present the blood and sprinkle the blood around against the altar, Leviticus 1:5. And one cannot have the blood circumscribe the altar as a thread without directly applying it with a finger. How then can these verses be reconciled? He applies the blood in a shape that is similar to that of a Greek letter, gamma, and its blood requires 2 sprinklings that are 4. This opinion accords with the opinion of Shmuel. Yishmael Omer. Never can say we never had said Baal Pisuk. Pisuk we are Matanos. Afkan Pisuk we are Matanos. The writer continues, Shmuel says, it is stated here, shall present the blood and sprinkle the blood around against the altar, Leviticus 1:5, and it is stated there with regard to the sin offering being sacrificed at the inauguration of the tabernacle and when it was slain. Moses took the blood and put it upon the corners of the altar around with his finger, Leviticus 8:15. Just as there with regard to the sin offering, the blood was placed discreetly and with 4 placements, 1 on each corner, so too here, with regard to a burnt offering, it must be placed discreetly and with 4 placements. This opinion accords with the opinion of Rav, Amarta Ola Ta'una Yisod. If these offerings are compared to each other, why not say that just as here the blood of the sin offering must have 4 placements in the 4 corners, on the 4 corners, so too here. The blood of the burnt offering requires 4 placements on the 4 corners. You said the burnt offering requires that the blood be placed on a part of the altar that has a base, and the southeast corner of the altar had no base beneath it. Therefore, the blood had to be placed on the northeast corner, and the southwest corner, my time. Amar Rabbi Lazar, Kefi Shelo Haytem Mechalko Shel Toref, Damar Shmuel Bar Yitzchak, Bar Yitzchak, Mizbeach Ochel Mechalko Shel Yehuda Amar. The Gemara asks, what is the reason that there was no base on the southeast corner of the altar? Rabbi Elazar says, because it was not in the portion of land of the one who tears, meaning the tribe of Benjamin, as he is still described in the following manner. Benjamin is a wolf that tears apart. In the morning he devours the prey, and in the evening he divides the spoil. Genesis 49:27. As Rav Shmuel, son of Rav Yitzchak, says, the altar would consume, meaning occupy, 1 cubit of the portion of Judah. The part of the altar in Judah's portion was in the southeast corner of the base, and therefore there was no base on the corner. Amar Rab Levi bar Chama, Amar Rab Chama bar Rabbi Chanina, Tzua Haita Yotze Bechelko Shel Yehuda, V'nichnes Bechelko, V'nichneses Bechelko Shel Binyamin, V'haya Binyamin HaTzadik, Mitzta'er Aleha B'chol Yom Anotla. Rabbi Levi bar Chama says that Rabbi Chama says that the son of Rabbi Chanina, Rabbi Chama, the son of Rabbi Chanina, says a strip of land emerged from the portion of Judah and entered into the portion of Benjamin, and the southeast corner of the base was on that strip. And the tribe of Benjamin the righteous would agonize over it every day, desiring to take it into its portion due to its unique sanctity, as it is stated in Moses' blessing, the tribe of Benjamin. Okay, be continued. It's an interesting thing.